everyone. In this tutorial I'll show you how I needle felt this cute little mouse. Please read the list of what you will need to make him. First I'm starting with the body, so you need to take some brown wool and knot it 2 or 3 times. This helps fasten your felt in time and it helps to felt it quicker. You're aiming for an egg-shaped body with the thinner part at the end, and this is where the head will get attached. Felt the body using your 36 needle or 38, I'd say for around 15 to 20 minutes, and you want it to be pretty firm. So you can also use a multi-tool if you've got one, which is, I've got a multi-tool of 7 needles, and this does help with firming. If you need the body to be a little bit bigger, then just add wool, which is fine, which I have done here. Because it's better to add wool, it's easier than taking wool away, so it's better to start smaller and then just add wool to it. So you're aiming for your mouse body to be about 3 inches long, so that's the body that I'm doing at the moment. Giving it a little rub as well, because that helps with the fibres firming together. Secondly is the head, so take some brown wool and fold it in half, leaving the end unfelted to help. This helps attaching the head onto the body. Here I'm using my 42 needle for this part, so think of it as like a balloon shape. Attach the head to the body and felt it well. What I do is I actually also wrap some brown wool around the mouse's neck to make it more securely attached, because you need to make sure that the head is very secure and attached to the body. I would actually felt this for here I'm wrapping the brown wool around his neck and felting it down, so you need to make sure that this is felted really firmly, because you don't want his head falling off. So this is what I'm doing at the minute. So yeah, I'd felt it for 10-15 minutes, so he's looking like a little mouse now. So right, and now for the ears. Take a small piece of brown wool and fold it in half, then felt the loose ends inward to create an ear shape, a round ear shape. Then felt it in the middle. I'm using a multi-tool as well here, and at the start I used a 42 needle. Also, what you need to do is fold a very thin bit of brown wool round it and then felt it down again, and that really secures it. And I'm using the multi-tool again, and it really, when you put that extra bit of folded wool around it, it does make it look more like an ear, for me anyway. You also need to fold the ear in half and felt it down, and then you need to do exactly the same for the other ear. And now you just need to attach the ears onto the mouse's head. So take one ear, and with the fluffy end that you've left unfelted, fluff that on top of the mouse's head on either side, and just making sure that they're quite secure and felted down firmly. So yeah, there's a little top bit. Just put an extra little bit of brown wool on top of his head just to make it a little bit more even, so you can't see where you felted the ears down. Just give it another little extra felt. Now for the eyes, I'm using 2 glass eyes here and the owl tool. So I'm making 2 holes for the eyes on either side, and then what I do first is I make sure that I like the position of them before I add glue. Then I take them out, and then I'm using super glue here just to make sure that they're in properly, and please always be careful when using super glue. I also like to make eyebrows for my mice, so I just take a little bit of wool and I felt it into like a square shape, and then what I do is I just cut around it so it just looks more square shaped, and then I put it on top of his eye and then felt it down. As you can see, I just think it looks cute and it just gives the mouse's like face more definition. So I just think it's something that I gave a try, and I just thought it just gave his face more character. I also for the moving on to the arms now. So I'm taking the extra strong pipe cleaner, and what I'm doing is I've made 2 holes at the front of his chest, not right in the middle of the mouse's body because it's harder to make the holes to fit it in. So I've put the pipe cleaner through, and I'm also folding the ends so the metal bit doesn't hurt anyone. And then I'm popping a little bit of super glue on the end there too. And also I'm using PVA glue, which I wipe on his arms first. And then I take some more brown wool, and what I do is I felt it at the armpit of the arm first, that bit there. And then what I do is I wrap it very tightly around the arm, and I wrap the mouse around the arm, which I think works a lot better. And then add in a little bit more wool at the end so it looks like he's got a little hand. And then I'm rubbing a bit more glue on. I think it makes it a bit firmer and tighter. And then I just make sure that his arms are meeting nicely. And then if there's any little bald patches, I'm just adding a little bit more wool here. And then what you need to do for his legs is you just do exactly the same as the arms. I've just took some more pipe cleaner, and I'm doing the same thing, folding the ends as well, making sure that his legs are meeting. I think with this one, I found that his legs were a bit too long, so I just easily cut off the ends before folding them. And then I'm just doing exactly the same. I'm putting some super glue where the holes are to make sure that it's secure. Then I'm getting some brown wool, and I'm felting and putting the PVA glue on first, and then I'm getting some brown wool and felting it around the bottom of the leg, and then I'm wrapping as tight as I can, and I'm wrapping the mouse around the wool, and then felting it down just to secure it. Then I'm doing exactly the same on the other leg, and then adding the glue as well at the end. And now I'm going to move on to the tail. So I'm making a hole there for his tail, and then using some more pipe cleaner, and I always make it a little bit longer than the arms and legs. Mouse's tail here is very important because this is what helps the mouse stand alone. So you've got to make sure that it's proper securing. So I secure it with super glue, and then I'm folding the end of the tail as well, and then I'm doing exactly the same, putting some wool around, and what I'm doing here is hiding the glue so you can't see it. Then I'm putting some PVA glue over the tail, and then using some more brown wool, felting at the end and wrapping the mouse around it, which I find helps and makes it really tight. And then putting a little bit more glue on the end, and then felting it down a bit, and then there's your mouse standing. And now for the face. So what I'm doing, I'm taking a little bit of black wool, and I'm twisting it tight as I can, and using my 42 needle, I'm felting it gently into the centre of the face and making it into like a V shape. Felt it into a V shape, and then so it looks like a nose into the centre of his face. And then I'm doing exactly the same with another piece of black wool, and I'm making a smiley face, felting it down with the 42 needle. And then for his nose, I'm just adding a little bit of pink wool and filling the middle bit. And felting that down, and then I'm just adding a little bit tiny more black wool to connect his nose with his mouth. And there he is. And I'm also just adding a little bit of black wool around his eyes as well to give it a bit more definition. And there he is, little mouse, all done. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you.